Is it working again? Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry, I'm like trying to figure out. Is everybody back? I can see only 4 people got back. I don't know what happened. I got like this error message on my streaming software. So I'm gonna wait and see if you can hear me. I have no idea. Well, obviously, and this is kind of like I did do a live stream yesterday, a quick one trying to like just to test the settings, and we did a live stream. Everything went fine. I have no idea what happened on my end though, because I got some kind of error message saying that there was an issue with my stream. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But so hopefully people refreshed again. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. Oh man. Well, I'm going to kind of just jump back into it because I do kind of want to make progress, and this is being recorded. I'm hopefully so hopefully people will be able to go back. Let me just mention in Discord. Rejoin. Sorry about that. Just give me a second. This is unreal. Of course, right? All right. I'm just going to kind of go back to where I left off so I can see some people are joining, rejoining again. So anyway, trying to figure out where I was deleting this. Okay. So we had, and again, this is the hourly Bitcoin chart. So we had this, we had basically a really strong downtrend, and so this blue line here is your Tenkin, this yellow line here is your Kijun, this is your cloud. Okay, so this kind of red shaded in structure that you see here is your cloud. So again, this could literally be an entire stream just talking about Ichimoku right here, so I'm going to kind of get into it really quickly. But basically the short of it is, when you have a big deviation like you saw here, you see how far your blue line got away from your yellow line, and it forms kind of like this structure here where you can draw a C. So this is a C clamp, and what that tells you essentially is price is overextended to a degree. And when this happens, oftentimes you can look for price to return to equilibrium. Now when price is sitting at your yellow Kijun here, on this time frame for the hourly, this is where equilibrium is for your price, and I'll explain all of that in the module when we get back to it, or when I start releasing the module series. So again, when you have this C clamp kind of formation that you see here, again, the blue line very extended, price is far away from your yellow Kijun here. What happens a lot of times is price will snap back to get back into equilibrium, which if you see here on the hourly, right, price is way extended, your blue line was really far away from your yellow line. And in Ichimoku, you really like these lines to be close together, so relatively close together. If you back out, you can see they're not too far away from each other. So this is a pretty decent downtrend. And here again, you can see price, you get a bit of deviation here, right? There's kind of a bit of separation, and you get a return to equilibrium right here before you get your rejection. Kind of similar here to a degree, but you get a very pronounced one right here. And what happens is price finds a bottom, you kind of reclaim your Tenkin here, and then you go right back to equilibrium. So you see this right here was a really nice short opportunity. And this is hindsight, obviously, but I'm explaining to you kind of how it works. But this ends up being a really nice short opportunity because overall, on the hourly time frame, Bitcoin is bearish, according to Ichimoku. So your blue line is below your yellow line, okay? Your cloud is bearish. So anytime you have the red line, and this is I'm explaining this from like a very elementary standpoint, like there's technical names for all of these different lines, but I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible. But anytime your red line is above your green line like that, that shows you that your cloud is bearish, and you can see that the inside of your cloud is shaded red. So I have that set. That's also on standard settings as well, but for my particular Ichimoku indicator, this is a custom indicator. This is bearish. And then a bullish cloud is when the cloud is green back here. So that is telling you that that the cloud is bullish, essentially. So anyway, what's kind of next? So we got back, you got your mean reversion, you got a rejection back down to your Tenkin, and now price has actually made its way inside of the cloud. So what you are looking for to happen, and you can see this if you're looking at my forecaster here. So let me try to zoom in for you. There we go. So essentially what you're looking to happen is for your blue Tenkin here to cross your yellow Kijun. And you can see, again, this is the hourly time frame, right? So every dot represents what is likely, what your Tenkin and your Kijun are likely to do over the next several hours. So 6 hours from now. And this is kind of forecasting where these lines are likely to be. And obviously that can change based on price action. And I will go into all of the calculations and all that in the module. But again, you're looking for this to bullishly cross and price to exit the cloud. So that will give you an indication that price could be headed higher. So that's kind of something that we're looking for. And obviously, and I see here, Mark, my rule is do not trade when in the cloud. So that's and I mean, obviously everybody has their own rules. There is a setup though, which I will share in the Ichimoku module, which you wait for price to actually enter the cloud. And as long as all of the settings, or I'm sorry, as long as the indications show you to take the trade, which I've actually shared this, you can find examples over back in Discord. But there is a particular setup where you wait for price to enter cloud. And if you have you have the correct Tenkin Kijun cross, if your cloud is flipping bullish, I'm sorry, not your cloud, if price is below or above Chiku span, then you actually look for a particular setup. So I'll share that later. But anyway, this is kind of what's happening right now. And also what cloud does is it gives you a really nice support and resistance a lot of times. So this is a really good area where you can find your support and resistances as well. So somebody asked, could you share your Ichimoku setup and why you set up that way? Indicator. So the indicator you use, so the indicator that I use particularly right here is actually my own custom indicator. And there's a reason. I actually have a lot of the stuff turned off so you can't see it. But I do have signals that my bot will give me for I'm sorry, well, I just kind of, not that I gave it away, but there's a reason kind of why I'm setting it up that way. But I actually get signals sent to me when certain criteria are met, that the normal or the Ichimoku indicator that's included with TradingView doesn't. So, but it obviously means that, there's nothing wrong with using the standard. And what I mean by that is if you just go and you type in, or this is a good one too, Ali Ichimoku. If you can find this one, this was actually the first one that gave me the idea to have the forecaster. So this is a really good, I highly recommend it. So the Ali Ichimoku Cloud V1, you can find this, or even just your standard, well, that's mine, the built-in right here, Ichimoku Cloud, totally fine to use. You're just not going to get the forecaster piece of it. Can we apply this setup in 3 commas? Well, there's going to be a video that's coming out soon, and it's going to be kind of one of the last videos for trading bots that I show you how to use TradingView signals to apply, like you can actually use that to trade in 3 commas with your trading bots. So back to this, that's kind of where we are. Price is inside cloud, it's still bearish. The cloud is bearish. The Tenkin and the Kijun, the relationship to each other is bearish. So as far as Mark said, I'd say he's right. Like there is not a trade here. Like I wouldn't be taking a trade here myself. So I could agree with that. So I'm going to turn this off. I actually want to see, like, what do I want to do? So I want to redraw my levels real quick. And by the way, so this is your golden pocket that I had mentioned in I think I did it in my Bitcoin video. But this, I call this a test. Like, this is really nice. It got front ran a little bit, but you obviously have had a really nice bounce off of this 618 right here, and price is moving up. So that's nice. You go to a daily here. So the levels haven't changed. So I'm pulling my fixed range here of this price action because I want to see where my value areas are, and they haven't changed, which again is good. So kind of while I have this pulled up here, one of your resistances that you're going to run into, you're kind of running into it now. There's actually a daily level that's sitting right here that hasn't been tested yet. So this daily level here at 54,000, was that 54,407? There's likely going to be a bit of resistance here. I would definitely watch this level. But as far as your range, and I'm talking about this whole, and every candle's a day, by the way. So the point of control for this, all of this price action right here, is sitting at 56,876, something like that. It's around that general area. I think that this is likely to be very big resistance. This is likely to be very big resistance. So what I'm kind of doing right now is I am kind of just giving you levels to watch, and because again, I have not actually looked at the Bitcoin chart today. So I'm actually going to stop talking for a little bit because I want to actually get through some of this analysis. So just looking at these levels, nothing, you know, in my Bitcoin video that I shared, when I had at the end of it, when I went down to the daily time frame, nothing has really changed as a point, like as far as what I've said. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on Bitcoin. What I will say, so I can see right here that there's a fib that I do want to pull. So you do have your golden pocket sitting right here. Now I want to see if this lines up with anything else, obviously, but this is likely to be a decent resistance. Usually on first touch, it doesn't always catch like a perfect move, you know, but likely on first pass, it's definitely an area that you want to be aware of, because like this is kind of, and I'll tell you like a little bit, like not to get into trading too much, but like people who are longing right here, you kind of have to ask yourself why, right? Like, I mean, and I know, again, this is kind of hindsight trading, but the time to long is down here. It's like super obvious, right? But you knew before this that you had a support zone around here. So you would be looking for longs here. Shorting here is stupid. I would never short, you know, obviously after you've had this really nice down move, especially when you have this move right here, which is really impulsive. There were, you know, shorting around this zone, not the smartest idea. And we knew ahead of time that you have this support level around here. So this, if you're looking to take any side of the trade, really like longing, I would say longs is kind of more, you know, it depends on your style of trading as well, but still shorting here is not very smart. So it's kind of the same thing now as buying right here, right? Like, you're starting to run into some of your resistances. So let me look at I'm curious where these pivots are. So I want to go to my daily pivot. And wow, what do you know? So your R2 daily pivot, okay? So this is going to be a resistance. It lines up perfectly with the daily level. So I would, you know, again, this is likely going to be a short-term resistance at least, right? And then right above it, you have your 618, your golden pocket, from this high all the way to this low. And so you kind of have this zone of resistance, right? So do you really, like, if you're not in a trade at all, and you're like, you have to be in one, right? Longing right here, maybe not the best idea. And again, this isn't financial advice, but there's likely to be a fair amount of resistance in this area. You have your daily level, you have your R2 daily pivot, you have your golden pocket sitting right here. Like, you are likely to find a fair amount of resistance in this area. Now, if this is reclaimed, right, if you're able to push through this, what I would expect to be a resistance zone, you have your R3 pivot that's relatively close to your 786, but more, I would look more up to this point of control area. Now this I expect to be pretty stiff resistance, to be honest with you. So, you know, as far as like how I like to trade, I really like to break things down level by level, and that's how I kind of choose to trade. So I'm like a level by level trader. Somebody's DMing me. And then, so anyway, this is kind of your local resistance zone. Now on the big picture, is this going to be some major level? No, unlikely, right? Now the daily level, you know, as far as it being, you know, like an SR level, oh, well, that was my construction crew outside. But as far as this being kind of an SR level for this overall price action, the daily level is important. So, you know, if you're able to push through this zone, then I look up here to your point of control. If you're able to reclaim your point of control, right? So if you're able to push up through your point of control and hold this level, then these are the levels above that you look towards. And my stance on Bitcoin hasn't changed. This weekly level is likely to be a very critical level. It's probably going to be pretty tough area once we get up here. And then your value area high and your daily level up here, like, again, this is the range high, value area high. So this is where you're likely to find even more resistance, right? So, but again, as you push up through these levels, now, if you're able, and again, we're very far away, but naturally, obviously, if we're able to reclaim these levels, then we're going to new all-time highs, right? We're not that far away. Why do you think it will pass through the R3? Well, like here's the thing, you know, if I had to look at what is a more, what I would view as more tough resistance, okay, so I'm addressing Stan's question. If I had to view what would be more tough resistance, it would definitely be the point of control. The 786, now you have your R3 daily pivot that is lined up pretty closely to that. But overall, the 786 of like a structure like this, I wouldn't, you know, I mean, could it, like, yes, it very likely is going to be some form of resistance, but I don't expect it to be, you know, like a really important level, if that makes sense. Now, if I was to see, now if there was a daily level here or something else, then if there were other confluences, and there still might be, I haven't actually like gone through all of the analysis yet, but if there's other things that kind of show this area to be important, then sure, like that absolutely could be. So really, again, you got your golden pocket test, your 618, you got front ran a little bit, but that's definitely a test. You got a really nice reaction. So to the upside, again, you're coming up on testing your daily level, coming up on testing the golden pocket of this move. This is likely to be your next resistance zone. And as far as your supports to the downside, okay, so you, again, if you come back and retest this level, I think that you're likely to come all the way down to your value area low. And if I actually, let me zoom in on a little bit lower time frame, if price manages to start coming, making its way back down here, and you lose this low here, I do think the value area low, which is also the 6.6 fib, is likely to be tested, and I would be very interested if that were to happen. So just curious, and just to be honest with you, this is my first live stream that I've done, so I'm trying to find a balance between trying to do analysis and try to answer your questions at the same time. So cut me a little slack. I'll try my best, okay? But just curious. So real money, and this is a good question. Just curious, is the purpose of this video to automate the analysis into DCA bots, or for general purpose? So to give you guys, and this is like, I'm glad you asked this question. My channel, okay, and I'm a trader, okay? My channel is more based on trading. And the reason, like, my channel has also exploded, and I'm talking about my YouTube channel, okay? It's exploded because of those trading bot videos that I did. So naturally, I understand that people want for me to talk about trading bots, but that's not exactly why I actually started my channel. But I love it. I appreciate everybody, you know, obviously watching the trading bot videos. It's so cool to see people that you know, are that interested in trading bots and kind of what they do. And obviously, like, we've built a really nice community so far. But again, my channel wasn't created solely for bots. That's just kind of what, like, really took off. So I kind of hope that answers your question. But at the end of the day, all of this analysis that we do absolutely has to do with your trading bots, because when we talk about Bitcoin controls the market, okay, for the most part. Like, Bitcoin is, you know, what Bitcoin does directly impacts every other, you know, all of the altcoins that we're trading, right? In the trading bots. So, like, when you're doing this type of analysis, and when we get into the altcoin part of this video, which is going to be very soon, like, this directly relates to how you can manage your trading bots. So for me, I talked about this in video 1, okay? I have a very different view of trading bots than I think even a lot of my subscribers do. It's very passive for me. It's something that, like, I kind of set and forget, right? I'll do my analysis kind of like I'm doing now, and I will, you know, I can create trading bots that way, or I do, you know, I'm interested in certain altcoins that I want to build positions of, so I will start bots just because of that. Maybe the chart doesn't even look that great, but that's why, you know, for trading bots, again, it's very passive for me. So if you're like an active, you know, you want to be retooling your trading bots every day, and you want to try to maximize every penny of, you know, potential profit that your bots can make. The point of this video, though, is to show you, like, when you're doing this type of analysis, that can help give you a pretty nice edge in deciding which bots you want to run. So this absolutely has a purpose, if that makes sense. Hopefully I answered that. Give what subscribers want. Well done. Well, honestly, again, like, you know, that's not my, like, trading bots isn't like what gets me out of bed every morning. Like, I want to be 100% upfront with you, but if people want me to elaborate on them, I'm happy to do it. So that's the point. Okay. I would be interested in a trading video on how to set up the weekly SR, daily SR levels. Okay, so I did a live stream when I first started the channel on that, and I'm happy to do one again. I'll probably do a video on it, but that is very important. I agree. So I can definitely do a video on that, or a live stream, whatever's easier. So anyway, I just wanted to take a quick look at Bitcoin, give you kind of the immediate support and resistances. So if you are, so I'm going to relate this to bots, okay? So if you are trading a Bitcoin trading bot, for example, like, and again, depends what your time frame, what your horizons look like and all that, but we are coming up to a resistance zone. So this is kind of like low time frame, local resistance. If we're able to kind of push through here, here are your levels above where I would likely think a reaction is to take place. Now, versus, and honestly, stocks did well today. I did see that. I didn't like look at the charts, but I saw that stocks, you know, stocks had a nice day. And that obviously is going to play into how crypto is doing overall. So we're having a really nice bounce like over the last 2 days. So it's great to see that the stock, you know, again, stocks ended nicely. Had a nice closure today for the week. Bitcoin's kind of having that relief rally. We had the crazy, you know, everybody was talking about the options expiring really early this morning, and that, you know, like, the thing is, people have known about that for a long time, right? That's not a surprise. But there's kind of like some things that are behind us now. So the markets are closed for the weekend. I think it's really going to allow crypto, you know, it's going to allow Bitcoin to hopefully breathe a bit, and maybe, you know, maybe we can continue this bounce higher, which obviously would greatly help our trading bots out. And then, yeah, but again, we're coming up kind of to this local resistance area right here. And this is your support to the downside. So here's your golden pocket. It got front ran. If we do manage to make our way down, which honestly, I don't lean that way, but if we were to, this value area low here could make for a very nice long trade. Not financial advice, but this could be a really nice potential area to trade. We'll have to see kind of how the weekend plays out. But if I had to take a guess right now, I do think we have a strong weekend, judging by the way that things are looking right here. And then obviously this weekly level, oh, I went over this in the video, and there's some reasons why, and I'll just show you real quick. So if I turn on Ichimoku for you, this is why. So your daily Kijun is sitting right here in this area. You have a weekly level, 45,239.5. Very important weekly level. You also have a daily level here, but the weekly is a larger time frame, so it supersedes the daily level. But again, this is another form of confluence. You have your daily Kijun here, which by the way has caught the lows of this move so far. So I will back out and show you. So here is your daily, okay? So every candle is a day. If you look at all of the retests that you have got on this move up, what has caught the bottom of every move so far? That would be your daily Kijun. So let me highlight this for you. So here's one. Let me make this green so you can see it. So when price, okay, was up here at your $42,000 previous all-time high, you got a really big move to the downside. I wouldn't say it's big, but you got a really nice move to the downside. So you're talking 31.5%, which if you've seen my early Bitcoin analysis, you know that when you have, in these cycles, getting 30 to 40% pullbacks are completely, like, they happen. That's a thing. It happens. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy. But I mean, it is crazy when you're trading it in real time, obviously. But when you're looking at this from a macro perspective, like high time frame, you're looking at the entire trend. It happens, if you look at previous bull cycles and Bitcoin, it's happened plenty of times. So anyway, you get your really nice 31.5% move to the downside, and look what catches it. That's your daily Kijun. What happens again? Here's another test. You actually get two tests. So there's one here and one here. Buying this level, beating the Kijun, as we like to say, really good opportunity, obviously, and you get pretty decent size move off of that. 100%, wow, exactly 100% move, almost a $30,000 move to the upside. So what happens again? Well, you get another retrace, because again, when you get a crazy impulse to the upside, okay, what happens? You get a 26.5% move to the downside. What stops price? Daily Kijun again. Another really nice buy opportunity. Literally like within, it caught the low of this move. So the point is, when I see that we have another really nice impulsive move up, I would say this is pretty impulsive coming from this point up to here anyway. If you were to enter off of this daily Kijun right here, you got a 44% move off of that, or $19,000 move. So the point is, when I see price top out like it has and start to make its way down, where am I looking for? I will tell you. Let me clean this up a little bit. So where would I kind of be looking from a swing trading perspective? What has been a really nice entry? Well, the daily Kijun. And so what does it have anything else that aligns with? And that's kind of one thing that I want to make clear. Ichimoku is one of those indicators where if I'm going to take any trade blindly, Ichimoku would be it. And what I mean by blindly is, me personally, I don't like to have, really just like one form of confluence to take a trade. And what I mean by that is, like, if one level or one Fibonacci retracement or whatever it is, right? If I just have that one confluence there, I don't like to really take that trade. Like the win ratio, the win-loss ratio is not very good for me. And this is like keeping tabs on my trading journal, right? But if you have multiple forms of confluence, the more confluences you have for a particular level, the stronger that level is likely to be. So for this instance, you have your daily Kijun, which if you just long the daily Kijun, this yellow line here, you would have done insanely well so far, right? Any retest that you have got on this uptrend so far, and you're talking all the way back here on, you know, $11,000. If you had just longed Bitcoin, and let's say that you didn't get any of this trade. Now, obviously, like in the Ichimoku module, I'm going to break down this chart in painstaking detail to show you exactly when you were supposed to enter according to this chart. But if you had just longed the Kijun retest, you would have done incredibly well. Okay, so that's kind of what I mean by, if I were to long any indicator blindly or one level of confluence blindly, this would probably be it. But the thing that I like about this is that this is not the only form of confluence. What else, and kind of what I mean by that is what else is in this general area that could make this a stronger level, right? So again, you have your weekly level. This is a pretty big level that comes in right around where your daily Kijun is. So that's confluence number 2. Confluence number 3, look at the shape of your cloud, right? So again, I had mentioned earlier in the video, this is support and resistance. Okay, so this acts as support and resistance just like anything else. What do you have that's right here in this general area? The top of your cloud. Okay, so you have your daily Kijun, you have your weekly level, you have the top of your cloud. That's 3 forms of confluence. If we go to pivots, I'm just curious. Let's see if anything else lines up. And I really like, we'll start on the weekly. Look at that. So your S3 weekly pivot is sitting where? Right on top of your Kijun. So you see this green box that I highlighted? So there are 4 confluences so far that I have seen in this general area to tell me that I would be likely to take a trade off of here. And again, not financial advice. Now, if I'm able to pull a Fibonacci, and by the way, Daniel, I'm glad you said that. I'm literally breaking down like how I break my charts down. So I haven't, like, you know, when we go through, and we're going to go through an example here as soon as I'm done explaining Bitcoin, because I just want to wrap up what I'm saying. I'm going to let somebody from chat pick some altcoins, and we're going to take a look at the chart, and I'm going to delete everything off of my chart, and we're going to start from 0. Okay. But so if I were to pull a Fibonacci retracement, and again, so if you don't know what Fibonacci, you know, Fibonacci retracements, Fibonacci fib extensions, all of that stuff, there's going to be a Fibonacci module as well, where I will explain in detail from a beginner level all the way to advanced theory how you use Fibonacci. So that will be another module that's coming. But anyway, to make it kind of speed it up here. So I am pulling a Fibonacci retracement from this swing low, which is your $43,000 swing low here. After, so again, this was your $58,500 top, which was a previous all-time high, down to your swing low, $43,000 low. Okay, so that's kind of like why I chose this as a starting point. This is your swing low. So now I want to see where the Fibonacci levels line up from this swing low to our current all-time high. Okay, now I'll tell you right now why I like this particular fib in general. When you get this, your 618, and again, the 618 got front ran a little bit, right? There was a lot of people bidding this general area. You got your really nice reaction, and honestly, price is still pushing up. So you're sitting right at that daily level that I had pulled at the very beginning of the video. But for the most part, you got a really nice reaction off of it. Now, to go for confluence number 5, I think I'm at 5 or 6 now. I don't remember. What do you have that is lining up right in this box? Well, if you can zoom in and see, whoops, that is not what I wanted to do. There we go. It's kind of hard to see. Turn my anger or my. You have your 886 lined up where? It's literally on the weekly level. So this is a big level right here. And again, if anybody has watched my previous my previous Bitcoin analysis in YouTube, or if you look through old posts in Discord when I share my analysis, really since the run up, okay, so I'm talking like kind of longer term, when you're trading these when you're trading ranges, and I'll go over that again, that's a whole different module, but a lot of the levels that I have noticed when it comes to fibs is your 886 has been hit quite a bit. So when you're talking about, and specifically when you're talking about range trading, but the 886 has been hit a lot more frequently in the last few months than it has prior to that. That is what I have noticed trading Bitcoin. So where does the 886 line up? Right with your weekly, right in this green box that I have drawn. So that's confluence number 5, I think. So anyway, I can I could probably do some further analysis, but the point of this is, will we get this opportunity to take this trade? Right now, it's not looking likely as far as this zone. For the cloud confluence, I'd really like to see this within the next 4 days. Do I anticipate Bitcoin coming down here in the next 4 days? Well, judging by this reaction so far, not likely. Like, I'm not sure, it would kind of take, we'd have to kind of come back to that. But this is a really nice reaction off of this level. But that being said, if it did come down to this level, I've given you 5 reasons why I would be very interested in taking a position here. And the nice part about this is that I know when I'm wrong pretty early. So I wouldn't really have to risk a whole lot on this trade to know when I'm wrong. If price made its way down to this level, okay, and started closing candles inside of the cloud, that's likely the indication that my idea is not working. So you can go back and see again, how did price react the last time it was at these levels? Well, you got a really nice reaction the first time. Your wick kind of went through a little bit. You got a nice reaction, price went sideways. 2 more retests, and then the 100% move up. How did price react the last time it was here? Perfect retest, really strong reaction off of it, and you got your big, another really solid, I think, what is that, 45% up or something like that? Killer trade off of here. So if price managed to make its way down here, and you started closing inside of the cloud, that's a change of behavior, right? Like this, and you don't get your wicks, you don't get a strong reaction off of the zone, you know that you're likely wrong for taking this trade. But it shouldn't, unless there was some massive crazy dump, which again, that's why they invented stop losses. But you know that you're likely wrong if it doesn't show strength when it approaches this level. All right. So that's Bitcoin. And again, like, I understand now that I think a lot of people are here for trading bots and altcoins and whatnot. So I do want to spend more time on that. But this is, again, if you want to check these levels out, write them down. Happy to do so. Feel free to do so. But right here, right now, is there a trade to take? Not really. In my opinion, like, the time to take a trade was near this 618. That's when you take a shot. If you miss this, then you got to wait for another really good setup. And for me, maybe something that I would be interested in. And, again, like, I hate to kind of dive into this because everybody has different time frames, right? Everybody trades with different time horizons. Like, some people like to day trade. Some people only like swing trading. But for me, maybe like a nice day trade could be this point of control level. So that's kind of where I would be looking at for a potential trade. And it's likely going to be to the short side. Again, not financial advice, but does anybody have any other questions about Bitcoin before I move on? And if you don't, somebody pick an altcoin. The first person to type in an altcoin that you guys want to take a look at the chart, and we'll do the chart. And obviously, like, if you are wanting to potentially start a trading bot on a particular altcoin, I want to make sure that it's as useful to you as possible. So So KC, I would be interested. Yeah, so yeah, this would definitely come at some point. Likely pretty soon. Let's see. Yeah, stocks were a bit better. It was a nice close, honestly. It was a nice close to the week. Composite bots. So composite bots I will cover shortly in another video. Wouldn't you want to short the price if the price breaks below the golden pocket? Well, and what he's talking about, I believe, so like if you want to use this as an example, if price breaks this level, the value area low, then it actually could offer you a nice short. The problem with this is like you're literally, if you were to short anywhere above this value area low, you're shorting support. Bad idea. But if you do lose the value area low, and like if price breaks below it and doesn't immediately get back above it, it definitely could be a very nice trade. So I would agree with you there. If it does break this level, and again though, this goes back to like is that going to be a great swing trade? Probably not, to be honest with you. Like overall, look at the trend, right? Like if you're talking about this from like a swing trader's perspective, like this is like enter and you're going to try to be in this trade for, you know, a week, 2 weeks, a month or whatever, probably not going to work out very well considering the overall structure is incredibly bullish. But for like a scalp trade or like an intraday type of trade, that absolutely could be a really nice entry. I agree. Oh, wow. So, by the way, UMX Hood Pope, I just want to point something out. That is my first super chat. I really appreciate that. So, we're going to do PundyX. Is there? And I will do some other ones, okay? Wow, look at that. That's seriously my first super chat. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. So, PundyX, do you want to look at the Bitcoin pairing or the USDT pairing? So for anybody who is asking for me to look at a specific chart, if you could do me a big favor and give me the entire pair that you want to see. So if it's if it's Cardano, for example, can you type in ADA USDT or ADA versus Bitcoin? Like that way I look at exactly the chart you want to look at. Okay. So PundyX, I will try to find that. I know I have it somewhere. Maybe it's on my other list. You see how many altcoins I actually cover. It's crazy. Did I pass it? Here. USDT. Well, let's take a look at it. So I am going to not talk for a little bit, and I'm just going to chart. So for those of you who had asked me about charting, how to chart the daily levels, the weekly levels, that type of stuff, just watch. I'm going to do it for you, okay? So I'm going to I'm not going to mute my mic, but I'm not going to talk because it's kind of hard for me to do technical analysis and talk at the same time. I'm not going to lie. I'm not that good yet with the whole multitasking. So I'm going to turn everything off. I'm going to make sure everything's deleted. And this is the Binance chart. Okay. So you can see completely blank chart. And this actually, I do want to check one thing. Because I think KuCoin might have, I don't know if they have a longer price action history. Because I like to try to pick the chart that has the longest price action history. So they only have ETH or Bitcoin. So we're stuck with Binance. All right, here we go. What a move. Look at that. And I'll tell you what, not that it's a theory, but I honestly think that people are buying PundyX because it's like when you're new to crypto, and I know this because my friends and family talk about this all the time. But when you're new to crypto, it's like people want to find like what their view of like the cheapest coin is so they can own as much of it as possible, right? So like PundyX being sub a penny is really attractive to a lot of people no matter what like the project fundamentals are, the people could care less. They just want to own a bunch of something. So I honestly think that's, unless they've had some news come out, something like that. Wow, thank you so much. $5 super chat. I appreciate all your knowledge sharing. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Not a problem. So typically when I don't put a macro value area low on this, I mean, it's going to be the bottom. It's very nice of you. Yeah, I know. Look at the candle. So these are weekly candles, by the way. I mean, like in the span of a couple of weeks. And like, here's for fun. So since the beginning of the year, January 4th, okay? Since January 4th, check this out. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Is that real? I don't follow this. I actually have a small bag from like a long time ago, but I'm gonna have to look into that. That's pretty crazy. What a move. So anyway, we get back to this. See, there's just nothing. Like, so speaking of confluence, okay, you have a weekly level sitting right here. Let me make sure that it's, oh, that's why I need to turn my magnet. So this very important support right here. Now you're very far away from that, obviously, but that's important. Could possibly have one here. Yeah, and Gamby, man, crash will be real too. I agree. This is gonna hurt at some point. It's just going to. It's gonna hurt. So like if you're running bots on this, my goodness, like be careful. Okay? Seriously. Like be very careful. Oh, another $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Is it JSEC? Or I hope I'm saying it right. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So here's your daily level. And so like I don't care, like you could zoom out, okay, and like focus on all of this price action. I'm not interested in this. We're so far away, it's really irrelevant. But you're getting a lot of wicks to the upside. So there's obviously a lot of people, like there's a lot of selling happening at these highs. So that's something to be careful. So you see here, you got you got this really long wick to the upside. The next day, price actually came in. So you got your long wick to the upside, price closed, next day open. It actually filled in a lot of this inefficiency that you see right here. But then you got a pretty decent pullback. So again, another wick. So there was some selling going on here, obviously. Got your retracement, another push up, new all-time high on the Binance chart. I don't know, again, if this is truly PundyX's all-time high versus USDT. It could very well could be. And then so again, there's quite a bit of selling going on over here. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so let's see, overlay Ichimoku, see what's going on here. And again, this will give you, so look again, my goodness. So your macro value area high, you had a weekly level form right here, okay? Look at where your yellow keygen is. Price, so you got your push up, perfect back test, and a very strong response off of that, but overall price made its way back down. Based along your keygen here. I know this is kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. There you go. So like, and it kind of based right along your keygen here. So you see that? And then boom, really nice move up. So going back to Ichimoku, where is a good time, bidding the keygen is usually not a bad idea. Obviously you did get a wick through here, which happens, but really, bidding this general area, got you a really nice move up. So naturally, again, this is a place where I'm going to be looking for potential entries, right? Like if I'm interested in trading this. So these are your levels that you have to the downside. To the upside, nothing, like there's nothing really to the upside considering it's at all-time high, right? But if Pundy X starts to retrace, these are the levels that I would be kind of taking a look at. So I'm going to pull, let me redraw this, show you something. So look at this. So here's your swing low, okay? This swing high. So you got your impulse and move up, price consolidates. This is your low, makes a new all-time high. What happens? Also why I love Fibonacci. Where do you come down? Right to your golden pocket. So you see that? So this is your swing low. This is your swing high, current all-time high. If you're looking to buy a retracement of this, the golden pocket is always somewhere that you want to be aware of, in my opinion. What happened? Price came right down into your golden pocket before it's moved up. And so far, off of this wick through your golden pocket, 24% move, something like that. Really nice opportunity there. But this is another reason, again, this is why I really like Fibonacci, and I use it very heavily in my analysis. So this is your 4-hour Ichimoku as well. I'm kind of like seeing what's going on here. Nothing really stands out to me. I don't really like this. You see the deviation here, like how far away it is, but that's because of this crazy impulsive move. So it's going to happen. But, we're kind of consolidating right here, and it's looking to me like it actually could be ready for another leg up. Crazy enough, it is actually looking like it wants to push up through here. So if you were able to get, I'd say a 4-hour close above, what is it, 0.008, I'll just draw you the line. If you're able to get a 4-hour close above this, preferably like above this little wick here, I think that we could have another push up. I mean, this is like really strong though. You get your impulse, you get some sideways consolidation. This kind of been the MO, right? Another big impulse, sideways consolidation based along your 4-hour Kijun. Another impulse, consolidation. I don't know if, I mean, I wouldn't, this is kind of, I'd say this is impulsive as well. You're getting another sideways consolidation. So, I mean, the trend is obviously up, and, it looks pretty good. But if you're using this for a trading bot though, okay, be very careful, because you see how quickly, like you see how strong this is. If you're using the settings that I use, and again, I'm not saying that you need to, or that, but I'm just from my perspective, like what I would be looking at. So this, if you came back down to this daily level, it would likely fill almost all of your safety orders. I mean, this is assuming that you didn't get a bounce in between, right? Like, and so when I'm looking at charts and I'm looking at potential bots that I would be interested in starting, this is kind of how I measure, because I want to see where price is in relation to the amount of safety orders that I'm going to use and my safety order deviations. Okay. So if price were to drop all the way to this daily level and not give me a strong enough bounce to get out of my trade. So that's kind of the thing that I don't know about, right? This is about where it would be lining up back here at this daily level. And if you know about altcoins, you know that that is possible for that to happen. So when you have something that looks like this, okay, so here's your daily chart, really strong move up, right? You, a lot of times, if you look back historically, when the down moves come, and they will at some point, it could be pretty tough. So that's throwing that warning out. But again, PundyX, these are your supports. So this daily level is really important. If you lose this daily level, likely heading back to, 0.0045, something like that is my guess. You could maybe base around your Tenkin, but PundyX, I think it's probably coming back somewhere around your Kijun, which is equilibrium. If you lose this level, then your daily level is your next area of potential support. So far, that's been built up. But that's far away. So just be careful. This is something that I would be very careful on. Now, again, if you're able to reclaim this 4-hour level, I think you continue higher. Maybe up to a cent. That'd be cool. All right. Well, who's next? Do you ever look at using Market Cipher? No, I don't. I've heard of Market Cipher. I've never actually taken a look at it, and it doesn't sound like, to be honest with you, I kind of know a little bit about it, just very little bit, but it doesn't sound like something I would probably want to use, just for me. And the thing about it in trading is that if you're successful in the methods that you use, stick to that. Right? If you're able to trade profitably, and I'm not talking about profitably in the last 6 months, because that's not a good baseline as far as I'm concerned. We're in the part of the market where a lot of people are making money. Even new retail traders are making money. It's not that easy, I promise you. If you trade long enough and you trade through several bull markets, bear markets, you'll know, you'll find out that it's not as easy as some people think it is, right? So if you're able to, if you learn trading, and I really encourage everybody who is wanting to learn how to trade or wanting to learn about technical analysis, I really encourage you all to check out different ways of trading. Use moving averages, check that out. Use exponential moving averages, use Ichimoku, try that out. Use some Elliott waves, use, check the stuff out to see what clicks in your head, right? Because not everything is going to be the same for everybody. I will tell you, I haven't run across a whole lot of similar traders that do what I do, trade exactly how I trade, because I kind of use a mixture of different, and it depends what kind of market I'm trading. Are we in a really bullish market? Are we in a sideways market? Because if we're in a sideways market, Ichimoku is terrible. If you're in a consolidating market and your price action is going sideways for months at a time, Ichimoku is not your best indicator to use. Ichimoku is phenomenal for trends, terrible for consolidations. So I would turn Ichimoku off, and this is when I use my levels and I trade my ranges and my value areas and all that. It changes, right? Stairs going up, elevator coming down. With PundyX, but probably true. But anyway, let's see here. What else? Ichimoku will tell you nothing. I disagree, but that's my opinion. I very disagree with that. I've done very well trading Ichimoku. But again, everybody's different. Just because one person makes money or loves Ichimoku, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to make money trading it. Not everybody is going to use it the same way or view it the same way. It's really dependent on how your brain interprets things, right? So I never like to, discount what other people are doing, because it could be drastically different for them, right? Just because I'm successful trading it, it doesn't mean everybody's going to be. Or it's the same way around. Just because somebody else is successful using Market Cipher, for example, it doesn't automatically mean that I'm going to be successful using it or as profitable as they are. So it really depends. Using your basic DCA bot, what do you do on days like the prior where everything goes down a lot? Do you just leave them running? So this is a really good question, okay? And I've been getting this question quite a bit with the bots. So with again, and I explained this in video 1, but with my the reasonings why I use the bots is to be passive, right? So if I'm looking at things from like a passive standpoint, I don't mess with them very often. So when you have down moves like we've had, I don't sweat the down moves. I just let the bots do whatever they're going to do, right? And that's different. So like there's people who are more aggressive. There's people that like don't want to watch their bots like, you know, sit there not doing anything for 2 weeks. I'm totally okay with that. But that doesn't mean like everybody else should feel that way though. But that's, so to explain that, yes, I just leave them alone because I don't, oh, that was for a punny chart. Yeah, you might be right. I mean, yeah, like it depends what time frame you're looking at too, right? But so prior, does everything go down a lot? You leave them running normally. So again, yes, I leave them running completely normal, and I'll show you my bots. Let's go take a look actually. So here's my bots. Everybody can take a look at it. Let's refresh it. See how we're doing. I haven't checked on this in a few hours. So total profit today, 407. So I see my link bot closed. That was one that was, I think we're like 14 orders deep or something on that one. Solana, cake for those of you. Okay, by the way, so for everybody who's here, an hour into the live stream, thanks for sticking around. Philip, what's up, Philip? Hold on, Philip, hold on, dude. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I can do this from here or not. I need to, oh my goodness. I gotta try to give Philip a wrench, but I don't know if I don't have my window open. I will do it though. So for those of you wondering what bots I'm running, you're looking at them. So I will point that out. This is for all of you who waited an hour and 3 minutes patiently. You know, you got to see the bots that I use. So, yeah, a good day though. $407 profit just from today. We have 2 hours left in the day. It's been a slower week, and like I've said this since, like I've been saying this every day to people, right? Like you have to be patient with your bots, and I'm speaking in terms of how I like my passiveness, right? My strategy that I've shared in the first couple of videos. Like for me, if they sit dormant for a little bit, I'm okay with that because I have other things to do, right? Like I'm actually like physically trading. I have businesses that I run. A lot of people don't know that. I actually have two other businesses that I run outside of trading, okay? But I spend most of my day trading. But anyway, like I don't really care what my bots are doing from minute to minute. It doesn't bother me. Like they can literally sit. And let's scroll down at the bottom to give you a good lesson. So look at this, okay? My Serum USDT bot, Reef. Well, this kind of got messed up because of, you can thank Alameda for this one. He kind of screwed this one up for me, but I don't really care though. It's totally fine. So you can see like we're 11 days, 12 days deep on this bot. Doesn't bother me. I don't care. Like it's going to sit there until it closes. That's base. And again, this isn't like financial advice, or this isn't advice for people just to like not care what their bots are doing. But here's Kava, 19 orders deep. Look at that. And it's been sitting here for 10 days now. Doesn't bother me because I know that these things are normal. These things happen, right? I don't care. Like, because overall, I am comfortable. And again, everybody's different, but I am comfortable being in the market, sitting where I'm sitting right now. That's what you have to decide for yourself, like what your comfort level is. I've shared the same screen in almost every video I've done on YouTube for the trading bots, and it says start out slowly, right? Find your sweet spot, find your comfort zone. Like don't go all in and then try to figure out how it works, right? You got to be comfortable with what you're doing. And I'm telling you, for doing these bots now for 10 months, like I am comfortable with what I have seen historically, and I'm fine letting them do their thing. Okay. So I have some bots just like anybody else that are sitting here 19 orders deep. I'll tell you briefly, Kava is one of those that it'll consolidate for a while, but when it runs, it runs. Like I like Kava, using Kava as a bot for that standpoint, because again, Kava has like, it'll just rip like out of nowhere. And typically it'll run with Atom. So it's kind of funny these two are together, like, because they're linked, okay? But Atom is another one of those bots. And you can see like there are different, I use different order sizes. And Atom is a really old bot, honestly. Like you can see, this is like my old settings. I haven't even changed them. But Atom and Kava, they kind of run on their own pace. But when they do very well. Reef was doing incredibly well. And then, you know, there was that kind of news that came out, that FUD piece that came out. I think it was between Reef and the Reef team and Alameda, some back deal they were trying to do on Telegram or something. I don't know all the whole story behind it. But essentially, I'm just waiting for this bot to close. And this is one where I might stop. I'm not sure. I can actually take a look at it. I'm just curious, like what Reef has done. And you can see this. I don't have any problem showing this to everybody. So you can see it's since it was doing pretty well. And like when you look at this histogram here, pretty decent. Like I'm happy with things overall that look like this. This is okay. But nothing here because it's been stuck in that trade for, what is it, 10 days or whatever, right? So you're not going to see any profits being made here. So my Reef bot has made me $820 so far since I've ran it. $819.73. So am I going to close it? I don't know. But that's one that I'm considering maybe stopping, but we'll have to see how it goes. Grid bots, there's been kind of more chatter about grid bots lately. I was really contemplating if I was going to do that video or not. And I'm still kind of leaning if I am or not, but I probably will. So in terms of account building, top 50 alts or rather Bitcoin for safety. And like, so Stan's question, in terms of account building, would you recommend like top 50 alts or rather use Bitcoin for safety? That's kind of entirely up to you, to be honest with you, because like higher cap, so like the larger cap altcoins, I would, that are listed on like the US exchanges. Like I mentioned this in the video, anything that's listed on Coinbase, anything that's listed on Binance US for the most part, like I feel more comfortable trading those because they're usually more vetted. Like there's less likely to happen anything significantly happen, anything insane gonna happen to those projects because again, like they're usually vetted really well. So if you're kind of worried about your money and you want to try to be on safer side of things, maybe you can lean those those projects. But that's kind of up to you and like what your goal is. So again, for me, just in case anybody wasn't clear, like I'm only interested, like I'm comfortable. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm never comfortable with how much USD I have, but like I'm more interested, like as far as trading bots goes, to like further build my crypto bags, right, on autopilot. That's kind of how I view it. So like I take all of my crypto or all of my profits from my bots in crypto, so in the base pair, okay. But like it depends what your view is, okay? Like it depends on what your view is about like like kind of what your goals are, I guess. Are you trying to build more USD? Are you trying to build your crypto bags? Or like what is your risk tolerance? It's kind of like a harder one to answer. Do you use bots using TradingView custom signals? No, I do not currently. But I am actually working on one with my Ichimoku indicator that I'm going to be using. So you could hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Mark, if you worry about your trade, you will overtrade. The bot takes this from you. Well, I mean, again, that's kind of what I like about bots too, is that they're automatic, right? Like it takes the human element out of it. Like when you're sitting there, here's the thing, trading looks easy on the surface, okay? And like, especially with like in the earlier segment of the video, when I'm going over previous price action, it's honestly really easy to analyze previous price action. But if you're, it's a whole different ball game using that analysis to enter a trade. That is like, that is way harder for people to do. And that's where a lot of people struggle, is actually being able to like take the dive, right? If you see a trade setup that looks really good to you, taking the trade is often the hardest part. And why I like trading bots, again, this is kind of one of those things that bots help you do, is they're machines, right? If there's a setup, it takes it. If there's, you know, how you program your bot. So if you're using custom signals through TradingView, whatever you set your signal to be on TradingView, good or bad, the bot's just gonna take it. Anytime that signal comes up, it's gonna take the trade for you. So like, that's one thing that I do like about trading bots, is that it takes the human emotion out of it. It takes the human element out of it. But you also have to let the bot do its job though, to really get a good, fair idea of how your trading is doing, if that makes sense, right? So like, again, I can't stress that enough. Doing TA is one thing. Analyzing charts is one thing. But taking the trades, learning from your mistakes, becoming a better trader, right? Becoming profitable, that's a whole different game. And I will tell you this, on YouTube especially, when you listen to people talk about charts, when you listen to people talk about, you know, share their analysis and whatnot, you have to understand one thing. It's their viewpoint and it's their view on the market. It's their analysis. But I will tell you right now, a lot of people talk, right? A lot of people talk about price. They talk about, you know, what they think is going to happen. But there are very few people that actually trade their analysis. I guarantee you that. Like, that's what I will say. I can tell, like, there's, again, trading and you know, doing technical analysis and actually trading, they're two different things. It's not that, you know, the trading aspect is not as easy as it sounds. But with the bots, again, that's also why bots are cool, why they're useful, because they don't care. Bots don't have feelings. They just do as they're told. So that's kind of like one of the nice things about them. All right, so really good conversation, by the way, so far. I'm like, really, this is a lot of fun actually, and I hope we're having fun out there. It's like I'm having quite a bit of fun. Do you run any other bots like Forex, for example? No, and like 3 commas, I don't think you can run. You can't run anything else. Now, I will say, like I mentioned in the videos, you could actually trade tokenized stocks. So like on FTX, which I went over kind of my gripe with FTX in the last video, but you can actually trade tokenized stocks using trading bots. So you can do that. So if that's kind of what you know, if that's your thing, you definitely can do it. Tone Vase. Oh my God. Don't get me started on Tone Vase. Do not get me started on Tone Vase. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. These are, and like, I agree with Philip. Like some people are in it to market their brand. They're in it to market themselves. Like and like, I'll give you a funny example. Like I'll give you a funny example. It's like the same people that have their thumbnails and you see them like looking like a total idiot, like with their mouth open and like, you know what I mean? And like, look at this, guys. Oh my God, Bitcoin going to the moon. Like, honestly, be careful. If you're taking technical analysis, you know, if you're taking, you know, if you're basing your trading off of what anybody else is saying, just be very careful, please. How long have you been running the 3 commas bot? So 10 months. So it's May, I believe it was May 29th is when I started. But I want to be clear, like I want to make sure that I'm clear about it. I started at May, the very end of May, but I started really slow. And like, so this is another question I get asked all the time. Oh my goodness. Like what did you start with? Right. And we're an hour and 15 minutes into this live stream. So I'm happy to tell anybody who's here, I will answer you 100%. So when I started with trading bots, it was just for fun. It was me. It was like, I saw it, it made sense to me. And I was like, you know, let's try out some different stuff. I started with about, if I remember, I started with about $5,000. So that's like, it was just kind of like what I was doing, right? Like it was just some side thing. I never thought in a million years I would like be making trading bot tutorials and having hundreds of people joining my Discord for trading bots. Like, I didn't think about that when I first started. Otherwise, I promise you, I would have kept way better notes. But so I started with about 5K, and you know, over the course of, and like, I tested small amounts, right? So when I started, I was testing out like the minimum, so $10 base order, $10 safety order, and I was like making adjustments, right? Just because this was more of a fun project for me. Like, and I've mentioned it before, but like, this was more about like to see if this was viable, you know? Like, so I threw some money at it, did some testing. And I did this for months. I think it was like 4 or 5 months before I actually started increasing my orders. So like I started increasing my base orders, my safety orders. Then I started, you know, that's when I started doing a lot of the doubling. So you can see here on my VET USD, $15 base order, $30 safety order. That's what I mean. And like, and you'll see this is actually a little bit of a different setup. So I am testing out some different setups. But anyway, it really was just like a you know, start out very slowly. And that's why I can't emphasize it enough. I try to get people to start out slowly. That way, like, you don't get run over, you know what I mean? But trading bots is such a small, tiny part of my overall trading that, again, this is like just for fun, right? But I will tell you, with the results that I've got and the recent, especially on the run up, like, this is definitely something that I'm probably gonna like put more money in, okay? Because it's done very well. Like, I've already made, well, you can see, like, I'm still running about 30,000, I'm at like 32,000 for what the bots use today. Okay, so again, I started out at like $5,000, which is like a small amount, and then I kind of like slowly fed the bots more money. And it was mostly not like in the beginning, it wasn't to like increase the base order size or the safety order size. It was just to trade more, like to have more bots running. Okay. Cause that's like, I talk about it in previous videos, why I think that's why that's a better strategy. But, you know, and then like up to today where the bots have about $30,000 in capital. And like, just to be clear, so just here's your USDT right here. So this is for what I'm trading on Binance, and not everything, like this is just like a few exchanges that I have linked to 3 commas. This is not for the trading bots. Like, and that's, again, like, I kind of wish, again, I didn't foresee me doing these trading bot series or talking about them in videos or whatnot, but I kind of wish I had done it separately just so that it was completely separate. But this is the USDT I have for the bots. And then I also have USD over on Binance US that I trade, you know, USD pair. So, but that doesn't show up under your balances for some reason. So yeah, started out with 5K. I'm up to 30K right now, 32K, something like that. And as, you know, as things, you know, as I have more time and I analyze things further, like I just kind of feed the bots more money, if that makes sense. Oh my goodness, yes. So Raphael, yeah, you made me think of Crypto Jack. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not to call like anybody in particular out, obviously, but it's like he's like, and I don't know why everybody's doing it. It probably gets really good click-through rate. You know, it's all, again, Philip's right. Like, it's about marketing, right? Like, it's about getting people to click on your video. Like, I get that. Like, that must be what's in right now, but I can't do that. Like, I just can't. First, I don't use a camera anyway because it's kind of distracting in my opinion, but it's just annoying. So one question I've had for a while, I know how to see where the grid bot buys and sells, 3 commas, but I don't know how to do that with the DCA bots. I don't think that you can with the bots. Yeah, I don't think. Now there are, oh no, I don't even know if that's, there was supposedly something on TradingView, there was like a DCA indicator or something that could maybe help you, but I don't think there's a way. Mark, yeah. Like the transparency piece, I'll tell you, that's so important to me. Like, again, like with YouTube, like this is just for fun for me. Like, I enjoy this. Like, I don't need to trade. I don't need to do trading bots. Like, I'm pretty lucky, you know. I'm gonna say lucky. I worked incredibly hard, but like, I don't need to do this. You know what I mean? So like, and this kind of got brought up. This is a good thing for me to touch on, right? like somebody said, oh yeah, you do this because like you just want people to click on your affiliate links. Like, here's what I'm going to tell you about affiliate links. Obviously, like, I am super appreciative. I really appreciate when people use them because yeah, like in some instances I get a financial benefit for you clicking on the link. But does it pay my bills? Not even close. Does it, like, you know, like as far as the income that I've got from affiliate so far, it's very, 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 it's way less than you probably think it is. Okay. But like, again, I so appreciate it. It means a lot to me when people use it. But if you don't want to use it, it's okay. It's not going to upset me. It's not going to bother me. Like, you know, it's just there in case people do it. But it's like kind of one of those things, like, if you know, if you spend the amount of hours that I have done to put in to try to make really good content, like the trading bot videos, it's, again, like, I appreciate it. It's like an incredibly nice gesture, but you certainly are not required. You certainly don't have to use them if you don't want to. It's not going to upset me or anything like that. So I want to make sure everybody gets that. Why don't you use trailing in your bots? That's video 6. So watch video 6. I kind of touch on that. And I'll tell you, it's not that trailing is a bad thing. In really strong uptrends, it could really help you actually quite a bit. It's just when I tested them when I first started for months, I wasn't getting the results that I was hoping. So it's not to say that you won't. It's not to say that it's not a good idea right now. I just don't particularly use them. But watch video 6. I agree. And again, Philip, like, I appreciate it. Philip, for those of you who don't know Philip, like, he's been in like Telegram, Discord. Like, we came from a different area, right? Like a different group. Like, Philip has been around a really long time, and he's like very knowledgeable trader. He's seen a lot of things. Like, when Philip has something to say in Discord, definitely pay attention, because I can tell, like, the guy knows what he's doing. Okay. But it's like, he's right though. Like, I'm more focused on just trying to like provide information, right? And try to like share what I'm doing, good or bad. It doesn't matter. Like, if I've, you know, good or bad, I'm happy to show like literally my trading bot screen that you're looking at right here. But it's like, I'm more focused on just like that's what makes me feel good about myself, like happy, you know, it's just sharing that stuff. I don't need to like promote stuff that I think is not going to work. Like, I will never do that. And you know what? I will tell you one thing really crazy. I don't even know. Like, I'm a really small YouTuber. I mean, there are people out there with like 600,000 subscribers, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. That's my plug. But there's people reaching out to me already. There's exchanges that have reached out to me that want me to do videos. I'm not going to do it. So like, I will tell you that I've actually turned down some like decent offers from like for a YouTube channel of my size, and which what these people don't understand is it's like, in the grand scheme of things, it's very small offers. Like I wouldn't entertain that. But it's more important to me to like actually share. Let's refresh this real quick, see if anything else has changed. But it's like more important for me to share like real info, I guess you could say. Did I make any more money? No, I don't think anything else is closed yet. So it's still sitting there. But $414 total profit per today. Got an hour and a half. I mean, that's a nice day. I don't think a lot of people would complain making $414 in a day for doing absolutely nothing. I literally did nothing to make this, like absolutely zero. And like, from like, this is more than a 3 comma subscription for an entire year, right? So again, not that I'm like trying to promote anything. I'm just saying, really, that's pretty decent. So, anyway, I know the stream's kind of long. You know, I'm happy to stay on for a bit longer. If there's any other questions that anybody else has, again, Philip, thank you. I appreciate that. Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay, Marco, my bad. What was your question? Let me try to find it. Do you tend to use scripts to backtest DCA? No, I don't. I just test in real time, to be honest with you. And like, so here's a little thing about backtesting. Here's my little snippet on backtesting and how I feel about it. Backtesting is cool in the sense of like, if you want to try to get more confluence that you think your idea is going to play out, right? So like if you go on TradingView, there's a way for you to back test it. Let me show you. So here's TradingView, okay? So you can go through, let me go through in like a 5 minute, try to make it a little bit more interesting. Let me turn all this off. So you can actually do a, where is it? Replay. So look, so if you click replay and let's say you wanted to start here, you see how it deletes all of this price action? So now if you click play, it's going to start printing. It's going to start printing your candle. So this is how you can back test on TradingView, right? And if you want to put your Ichimoku up, for example, like you can watch it in real time. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, this is how you can back test your strategy, okay, and see how it would have played out for you. Now the problem with this that like people are not accounting for a lot of times when you're talking about back testing is, again, when it comes time for you to take that trade, are you going to take it, is the real thing. And back testing, so like when you look at a certain trade setup, for example, let's say something really easy. I want to like try to keep this as easy as possible, because this is really important actually, because we're talking about backtesting like for your bots and whatnot. So I want to make sure that you kind of understand where I'm coming from. I want to only have 2, and let's say this is 8:21. So if you're going to backtest this strategy, right, and let's say that you want your bot to enter when on the 5-minute time frame when you get a moving average cross, for example. So this is what it would look like, okay? And this is kind of a shit example, or excuse me, excuse my language. This is not a good example, PundyX, really, because like you see, like there's a kind of a lot of wicks and whatnot. But essentially, like if you're looking here, so if you get a bearish cross, so your which one is which? It doesn't matter. But anyway, let's say you get a bearish cross here, and then when your bot gets the instruction that says that there's a short, you want to short this when you get your bearish cross and whatever your take profit is going to be. But the point is, when you're back testing something, you're assuming that you're taking every single trade, right? But in real life, are you taking every single trade? So if you're using a trading bot, then yes, I guess you would be, because it would be automatically trading. But in human terms, you're not able to be up 24 hours a day. And then you're dealing with that thing that I talked about earlier in the video, which is emotions, right? When something drops 20%, for instance, not a lot of people out there are going to be sitting there getting ready to push the green button, the buy button, because they're terrified to buy something that looks like you're catching a knife, right? So like, again, with the back testing portion of this, it's useful in the sense that it gives you kind of how your strategy would do historically, right? It would kind of gives you an idea. But is it really that helpful if you're looking at doing this from a manual trading perspective? I argue no. And because of that, you still have to be able to take the trade every single time for your statistics to match, right? But again, if you're doing trading bot, different story. Like, I guess you could say it could be useful because, ideally the trading bot would be taking the trade in every scenario. So I guess it depends. I see a bunch of orders here. Crypto's too young for back testing. Again, it depends on what you're looking at and what time frame you're looking at, though, right? Like if you're looking at a trading bot strategy, for instance, and you're looking at taking trades off of the 5-minute time frame, I would argue that majority of the altcoins or Bitcoin that's out, the majority of the stuff that you're able to trade is going to have enough price action history to give you an idea if that works out or not. Now, if it's a new listing, it's not going to work out, obviously. Anyway, anything else? Adding Kijun to, so Jason, adding Kijun to Ichimoku. Well, it's already there. It should be, it's part of your, once you put your indicator up, it should automatically populate. It just might be a different color though. So, and Jason, if you're not sure, you can post in Discord and show me what you're seeing. Like, but your Kijun should populate. And if it doesn't, then go into your settings and check and make sure that these boxes are checked. So that's the only thing I can say. But if not, you can ask me on Discord. Is anybody else? Anything else? Any other questions? This ended up turning into like trading bot Q&A, which is totally fine. I know people have been waiting for this, so ask away. Any other trading bot questions, or if you want me to look at another chart, I'm happy to look at another chart. And this is kind of good. Like, I appreciate doing this stream and people who are still around, because like this is good practice for me to try to be able to multitask between looking at a chart and looking at chat. Believe me, it's way harder than it actually sounds. So any other questions? I don't remember what somebody had mentioned some other coins that I wanted to look at. So X is kind of going down. What's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin doing anything fun? Oh, look at this. Alice. Man, Alice has been a bot. Andre, thank you. You're totally welcome. If you're talking to me, that is. I know there's some chats going on in the chat box, which is totally awesome. BNT. You can take a look at that. By the way, so I will tell you right now, like before I move on, X looks like, I mean, let's see. I will do BNT, I promise. Yeah. So this is kind of like, this is decent bot action, just so you know. When you're getting moves like this, I mean, it depends where you started your bot, obviously, but if you were to have started a bot anytime within the last day or two, I mean, you're getting pretty nice moves. 5%. I think this was 5%. So there's a lot of volatility on X, which is good. I imagine, again, altcoins are picking up though. Like that's kind of what you're seeing. But anytime you're kind of seeing these spike up, spike down, spike up, spike down, like this is good price action for a bot, to be fair. BNT. Okay, wait, USD. Okay. And is there something specific about BNT that you want me to look at? Like is it like just overall or for trading bots, or like, I'll tell you right now, this looks pretty good. I actually sold my BNT into Bitcoin. Different chart though, Bitcoin chart. So here's your macro point of control. This is a huge level, big time level. And the affiliate links only work if you don't have Binance and 3Commas account, right? Yeah, so like that's kind of the unfortunate thing about that, is the links won't work. So like you can't get a discount on 3Commas if you already have a subscription with them. You would have to like create a new subscription, if that makes sense. And with Binance, if you already have a Binance account, but you want to get like the 10% off of your trading fees, whatever, you actually have to make a new Binance account, which is really simple unless you like KYC and all that. Then it's like more intensive, but like I can create a new Binance account in like a minute. So do you use grid bots at all? Not really. I have, and I'm going to very likely make a video about grid bots because there's like specific instances where I think grid bots would do well. I also noticed that your LTC trade, yeah, LTC for trading bots, I mean, when LTC is running, right, when Litecoin's running, it does well, but for a long time now, Litecoin against Bitcoin typically really weak, and like it's just not. I'm not like a huge fan of Litecoin, like it running a bot on it, for instance. Doesn't mean you can't. And like if anything, it just, you could change your parameters as well. Like you can make your by the way, did somebody stare? Oh, Andre, I am brand new. I had 2 bots running. Thanks to your content, I stayed green. Awesome. That's really good. Because like a lot of, like, again, the last week or so has been sideways to down. Not enough real bounce to get us out of our trades with the bots. So like if you were doing well in the last 3 days, then that's doing a good job. Yeah, I guess. Well, this is a big level right here. Actually, I would. This is this is probably going to end up being a weekly level. It's not quite one yet, but it's likely to end up being one. But BNT has had, I mean, it's been a really good run. Really, really good run. This is a big level. So these are kind of, so you can see here, right? You got your really nice kind of impulsive move up here, sideways to down. You really like, you're finding support around your new weekly level here. Big impulsive move. Now you're kind of working your way down a bit. But this weekly level, big resistance. So the value area low of this piece of price action right here sits right on this weekly. So this is a strong level. Should be very important level, I should say. Not necessarily, it should be strong support, but it's a very important level. So these are kind of your levels that you have right here, to the upside and to the downside. So you're kind of sitting right in the middle now. So once I get my levels worked out, I like to start pulling my fibs. That's one thing that I do. See where things line up. So your 786 fib lines up very closely with your point of control. So this is a key level. Very important, likely to be, should be support. If this is lost, you look to your value area low, weekly level. Now, if this is lost, then 340, it's my guess. So you can kind of see how you go level by level, right? Now, find my golden pocket, which is right here. Turn on my Ichimoku, see what's up. Okay, so here's kind of like what I was talking about Bitcoin earlier on. So again, your Tenkin, nice catch here, wick through a bit, but again, right, price came down to your Tenkin, nice buy opportunity. Here, you lost your Tenkin, and you're forming this C clamp, right? So you're forming this C clamp, and what happens, this is very similar to Bitcoin right now, actually. This is very similar to Bitcoin price action. So your daily Kijun hasn't been tested since back here, okay? So again, this is BNT USDT. Look at that. So again, basing along your Kijun, Basing along your Kijun, basing along your Kijun, big move up. And that's a big move up. I mean, you're talking 600, so that's a bad number, right? But I mean, it's a big move up. So you haven't got a mean reversion yet this entire way up. It's gonna happen, and I will tell you, Ichimoku, Andre, peace out, have a good day, thanks a lot. But you haven't had a mean reversion this entire way up. So I will tell you, in trading, here's also another little piece of advice you're going to hear me say over and over and over again, like as throughout the course of the future videos. Anybody who speaks in certainties, turn them off. That's my advice to you. If there are any traders on YouTube, on social media, anywhere that speak in certainties, that say this is going to happen, I would not listen to a word that they have to say, because in trading, you have no idea what's going to happen. Now with technical analysis, you can forecast, right? And it can give you a good idea of what's likely to happen, but you never know exactly what's going to happen next. So that's one thing I will say. But the reason why I'm talking about this, in Ichimoku, okay, there is one thing that is guaranteed to happen at some point. All that matters is time, and it's a mean reversion. This Kijun, the yellow line, is going to be tested 100 times out of 100 times. It just depends on when. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be next month, it could be next year. Who knows? It is going to happen though. So that being said, where is your daily Kijun, which is a really, usually, especially on first pass, it has never been. So new subscriber, Jacob Lamont, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. But where is your yellow Kijun? It's sitting right here at your point of control, right? So that's how you know. I got another subscriber. Can't, man. Rohit Kumar. God, I hope I'm saying it right. I'm really sorry. I'm like not very good at pronouncing names. Is that Skrilla? Gorilla? That nice name. So again, your point of control sitting right here on your daily Kijun, very important level. It hasn't been tested yet on this move up. Likely to give you a decent trade opportunity. And where is it lining up, right? So going back to confluences, Kevin Yates, welcome. So going back to confluences, right? You have your 786, you have your point of control of this range, this piece of price action right here. You have your daily Kijun sitting here. There's a lot of confluence for this region to be support. So you kind of see the area that I'm highlighting. So this is a nice potential support area. If this is lost, you look to your weekly support. Value area low, another really strong level. And you can see that like there's not a lot of distance between the two, right? So one thing that you could look to do, this is not financial advice, please, this is not financial advice. Oh my goodness, everybody's subscribing now. Bill, thank you, Bill. You could actually, just an idea, not saying to do it, you could actually make the box like this and ladder your entries. That would be fair too. So if you're looking for a place to potentially, you know, like add to your stash, take a new trade, whatever, this zone is an area where I would be looking at myself. So that's to the downside. To the upside, value area high, very important level, weekly level, very important level, and you have your daily tank in there. So this, man, all these people subscribing now. Thank you. Is that Darv? I can't read that. I need to make my screen bigger. Here is your resistance. Here's your levels on BNT USDT. All right. And this is your local resistance zone. You have your weekly, your value area high, and your Tenkin here. You have your 618 golden pocket that doesn't really line up with anything else, I mean, that I see immediately. And then this is kind of your support, which is this. You have your daily Kijun, your 786, your point of control, and then your weekly. It's really this. I don't know why my box went away. but it's really like this zone is your support. So as far as taking a trade right here, right now, is it a good idea to? No, not again, not financial advice, not my opinion. What I would want to see myself in order to be interested is either for price to kind of work its way down into this zone. I would potentially look for a trade there. Or if price is able to reclaim this level. So if price is able to push up through your resistance here, reclaim this weekly and hold, likely a back test of this region. You also have a daily sitting right here. I'm going to point that out. I don't want to have too many levels. You cloud the chart up. But anyway, the weekly is more important though. But if you're able to reclaim your resistance as support, then you could look to trade this to the daily and potentially new all-time highs. All right. That's BNT USDT. There's 63 viewers in here right now. Hello to all 63 people. Gammy, man, do you take trades at the golden pocket when there's confluence only? You know, I'll give you an example of the golden pocket. Like when I would trade it solely by itself. And this is not like, I wouldn't necessarily advise people to do this, but if you're taking trades using the golden pocket, for instance, on Bitcoin, this happens a lot, especially on weekends when there's you can just tell there's a lot of botch trading because a lot of the big traders don't trade on weekends. Okay. A lot of times what you'll find is the 618 will be like the golden pocket will be incredibly well respected over and over and over and over again. And when I see that happening as a pattern, so for instance, if I'm scalping Bitcoin all weekend, which I love to do, it's how I like to spend my weekends, and hanging out with my kids, obviously. But when I'm scalping Bitcoin and I notice that price reacts to the golden pockets like over and over and over again, then in a time like that, I'm more prone to take those trades without other forms of confluence there. But ideally, no, I don't like to. Anybody else? Where do you? Oh, I'm waiting for my trade to close. 7.5 euros. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, it looks good here. And one thing that I didn't do is pull a fib. I don't think I did a reverse. I did not. So you can see some levels lining up. Your 382 bearish fib retracement lining up with your value area high. This is another form of confluence here telling you this is likely to be resistance. 0.5 sitting right on the weekly. I mean, these levels are lining up quite nicely, to be honest. Quite nicely. And maybe, you would likely want to see the golden pocket kind of reclaimed here. It's not like, I don't classify that as like being like a super important resistance on the way up, but you could find some resistance here as well. Got to be up. All right, Nelson, you take care. I think I'm going to wrap it up too. It's been almost 2 hours. I don't know how that worked. I swear it feels like 5 minutes for me, really. Like I'm having a ton of fun. I will do one more if somebody wants me to, or I can cut it here. Entirely up to you guys. Or if there's any other trading bot questions, maybe I missed some. Did I miss any questions? But I'm happy to answer like 1 or 2 more questions or do another chart and then sign off for the day. Because by the way, I am working on trading bots number 7. So I'm hoping to have that video up tonight. So trading bots number 7, which has to do with leverage. I am working on that video. Hopefully we'll have it done tonight. How do you know where to start and end the Fibonacci? So that I will show you briefly how I know where to start and end. Raphael, you're totally welcome anytime. And by the way, like I'm hoping to go live like all the time. This has been a lot of fun. Kind of want to test it out, see how it was. But I'm hoping, that this could be, at least a few times a week, maybe even every day if we get enough viewers. But I will cover this last question and then probably call it good. So how do I know where to pull from? So on this daily time frame right here, you really want to pull from your swing lows to your swing highs. Okay, so, and I showed this in the previous, in Punny X when we did it, but so you got kind of your really nice impulsive move up, you get your retracement, and then your other impulsive move, right? And then now price is declining. So if I'm looking at if I'm interested, the first fib that I am most interested in looking is going to be this swing low here, because this is the swing low right before you got this crazy impulsive move, right? So this is a really good pivot point right here. Like this is a nice pivot. So you got your move up, price moves, you know, price moves down. You can see you got quite a few wicks. So there's, and this is another thing, this weekly level value area low, look how many wicks, long wicks there was. This area was defended very nicely before you got a huge move up. So there was somebody defending this level. But anyway, this is your low pivot of this move. Okay, impulse, move down, nice reaction, very big impulsive move up. So I want to take my fibs starting here, and you always pull your fibs left to right. Anybody who pulls their fibs right to left, turn the video off. Okay, I swear, please turn it off. But so you're gonna start with your pivot low here. And yes, you can use, there are some like auto fibs that you can do. I don't like those, because for me, I like to pull my fibs exactly what from where I'm interested in, right? But again, swing low all the way up to your all-time high. So this is the fib that I would pull for this piece of price action, okay, on the daily time frame. I hope that helped. And then, you know, obviously the golden pocket, very interested in this level. So anytime I pull a fib, I always put this yellow box here. That way I know, even if I delete the fib, I know where my golden pocket is, if that makes sense. Okay. And I'll give you one more example. Let's go down to a 5-minute chart. I'm going to turn off Ichimoku. So looking at this, okay, let me kind of zoom out a little bit. Man, there's a lot going on here. Maybe down to a 15-minute, make it a little easier. So one area that I would be interested, and like even locally, so let me go back. So locally, okay, you have your move down, move up. Here's your swing high. There's your swing low. So now I could pull my fib like this if I wanted to, because this is your current swing low, current swing high. So if you think price is going to continue to work its way down, you want to find where your golden pocket is and go from there. So anyway, I'm going to do an entire Fibonacci module. Literally, I think it's going to be several videos long. It's going to go into tremendous detail about fibs. Okay. So that's definitely going to be covered. And one more question. Good night. Yeah. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. Really awesome. I appreciate it. Pros and cons of trading futures on FTX. I would like to save that, Igor, for a different video if you could, because like that's going to take me a little while. And I did, that's going to take me a while to answer. Or you can ask me in Discord, like maybe we can talk about in Discord. Yeah, that's going to take me quite a while. I think, well, hopefully excited. I'm excited to do video 7. Obviously, like I'm halfway through filming video 7. That should be posted tonight. I haven't seen my kids all day though, so I want to go hang out with them. But I appreciate everybody coming by. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I hope to be doing, you know, if you like this live video, let me know. I appreciate it. You know, if you let me know, that way I kind of know how this video was and helpful to you guys and kind of what else you guys want to see in the future. But anyway, that's it for me. You guys take care. Trade safe out there.